Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
PEGA is a BPM tool. BPM is a business process management. Don't mind for typos. Business process management. What is a business process management? Let's see. Let's take an example. Suppose let's take an application example. Should we have discussed regarding Amazon example? We will discuss the same. Like if you consider an Amazon application, what will happen actually? What is the process that we generally follow? Like we will follow a certain specific process which is defined by Amazon's business people, right? How actually they are thinking that same process and all. We will actually follow that as a customer. We will follow that process that is defined by business. PEGA is a tool which manages that process, which manages the business process. You understand? PEGA is a tool which manages that particular business process. If you take Amazon, what is the process you will be having? You will be having like a sign up, sign. After that, choose a product like something. You will search for a product, right? You search or choose a product. After that, what you will be having? You will be adding the item to the cart. Add item to cart. Payment. Payment or placing an order. Anything like a payment or placing an order. This process is there. This is a step-to-step process. You cannot directly go from sign up to payment, right? You have to go from like sign up to choosing a product or adding an item to cart and then payment. This is a step-to-step process which actually people will follow. This is called happy path. This is called happy path. Happy path in the sense everything is fine. This is a happy path. Happy path in the sense every scenario which we are going through, like signing up and choosing a product, everything went well. It is called happy path. After you have payment is done, order will be delivered to you, right? Once the order is delivered to you, you may actually return or replace the item, right? You have again two items, or actually you can cancel the item in between. Also, like after payment is done, before the item gets delivered to you, you can either cancel the item or you can return the item or you can exchange the item, right? These scenarios are called alternative paths. Like cancel, cancel, or let's say like this, cancel or return. Or exchange. These are all called alternative paths. Alternative path. Alternative path. Now this entire happy path and alternative paths is called Amazon website lifecycle. This is Amazon's lifecycle. Amazon is one application we are discussing regarding Amazon's lifecycle. Lifecycle in the sense from signing up to the ending. It may actually end in a happy path or it may actually end in an alternative path. But together is called a lifecycle. Now, if you saw this sign up, is there right? This sign up is called a stage. This is one stage. After the first stage, it will go to the next stage. In PEGA inside lifecycle, you will be having stages. That is called stages. First thing is lifecycle. Inside lifecycle, you will be having stages. Under each stage, there will be steps. Under each stage, there will be steps. Like if you consider sign up. In case of signing up, what actually you will do? You will provide some basic information like first name, last name. Amazon will be collecting some information and collect the info. Under sign up, you will be having a step of all collecting info. Collect info is like a step. You understand what I am trying to say. The entire thing is in the life cycle. In the life cycle, you will be having stages. Inside stages, you will be having steps. Meanwhile, you can able to see that this is the life cycle. Inside this life cycle, you will be having the stages. See, this is a submission stage. I think this is visible, right? This is the first stage. This is the submission. Inside submission, there are few steps. After completion of these steps, it will go to the next stage. Like it will go to the application menu or something. And it will go for these steps again. See, this is called primary stages. Primary or happy path, whatever you can say, primary stages. If something wrong happens or some exception came, it will go to the alternative path. See, here you have given alternative stage. It will jump to alternative stage. We have to specify the conditions. When it has to go to alternative stage or in which situation it has to go to alternative stage. All those things we have to configure. I will show you the Designer Studio today, how a PEGA Designer Studio looks like. See, I am using a cloud instance. This is a cloud instance which PEGA provides free for your students. And also you can install the PEGA instance to your machine. But in the cloud instance, now what will happen? If you configure any application or anything, that will be deleted. That will be removed within 1 week. Suppose if you're making any changes, those changes will be removed within 1 week in the cloud instance. But if you have installed this instance in your local machine, like in your system, then you have to start the server. Server starting will take at least some 5 to 15 minutes. And then you have to log in the PEGA application. Using this cloud PEGA like will be going to install the PEGA software. Actually, what I'm trying to say is like this is a cloud version which I'm using. Cloud version in the sense of no installation is required in my local machine. I can directly use it in my web browser. I can actually log into this website and I can directly use it in this web browser. There is a personal edition also. In the sense you have to install in your machine. Like see, I have installed PEGA Platform 8.4. A PEGA Platform 8.4 I have installed in my machine, but this takes some time and there are system requirements. Like it has to be. The system must have minimum of 8 GB of RAM and it should be running on some processor. Then only this will work like a local PEGA platform. This is a student edition. This will take some 5 minutes of time. Meanwhile, let's talk about the PEGA Designer Studio. Now in PEGA we have 4 types of studios. 4 types of studio. First one is Admin Studio. Admin Studio. And next one is like a App Studio. App Studio. This is Dev Studio. Dev Studio. And one more thing is Prediction Studio. Prediction Studio. We have 4 types of studios in PEGA: Admin Studio, App Studio, Dev Studio, Prediction Studio. Prediction Studio is not for us. Prediction Studio is for CPDC trainers. Like whoever working on another certification, like there is one more certification called PEGA Certified Decision Consultant. For that certification, they will use a Prediction Studio. Prediction Studio will not look into the Prediction Studio. Remaining 3 studios we will be looking into, and we'll see how actually those looks like. What are the advantages of each studio and all. Meanwhile, let me see if this is open. See, I'm launching from the website itself. This is a cloud instance. PEGA Academy system, the username and password. Also, they will be providing for you. You are able to see it. We are in App Studio. Here on the top you can see it. We are in the studio name. We are in App Studio. Let it load. Now this App Studio. You can see we have only Dev1 App Studio because it's a cloud version. If you install in your machine, you will be having Admin Studio also. But the Prediction Studio, I think you will not be present in a student version because this is we are actually learning CSAR. It's Certified System Architect. Prediction Studio might not be available. Mainly, we have 3 portals. It means Studio, App Studio and Dev Studio. It means to you here, it is not present because this is a cloud version. This is not a complete like, you will not have admin settings for the cloud versions. You will not be having, like you cannot switch to admin. I will show you the admin studio when actually we are working on. App Studio and Admin Studio like App Studio and Dev Studio. Let's discuss now what is an App Studio. What is in Dev Studio? App Studio was introduced in latest versions of PEGA like in the 8.8.2 like in only 8 version. They have introduced the App Studio. Previously they used to be like PEGA Express and PEGA Dev Studio instead of App Studio. There used to be another thing called PEGA Express. They have removed that. That is not required. No, they have removed that. They have introduced the App Studio, Dev Studio and Admin Studio. What is an App Studio? And what is the difference between App Studio and Dev Studio? You just point out me, guys, like whenever you have any questions. I just point out there itself because these are all basics. If you didn't. If you have any questions now, that will be continued like till the sessions. App Studio and Dev Studio. App Studio is like for low-code app development. What is a low-code app development? Low-code in the sense for simple requirements. Like to actually develop a very simple requirements. Like simple in the sense just creating a page, like creating a screen or adding some buttons or some radio buttons or some checkboxes. Not a complex functionality. Creating very simple requirements. PEGA has introduced this App Studio. They will call App Studio as low-code app development. App Studio is for low-code app development. Low code in the sense you will not hide it in any code. Not in that way. Low code in the sense very simple requirements. Like whoever coming from the starting or PEGA is expecting that thing like very basics. If suppose anyone need to implement any basics, they will use low code app development. And the PEGA is also saying the maintenance is easy. Maintenance is easy when you have used App Studio. Here you can see the App Studio. But I'm telling you real time. Real time. In the sense when you are working in any project, in the real-time projects, no one is using App Studio. As of now, my current project version is 8.3. This is endpoint. This is the latest version. You can see here I paid 8.72. Here you can see at PEGA 8.7. But we are using PEGA 5.2. There also we are having App Studio. I know many projects who as of now, people are not using App Studio for any development. People are using only Dev Studio. Dev Studio is to design complex requirements, to configure complex requirements. We will use a Dev Studio. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? App Studio is for low-code app development. You can directly configure the things from here itself. You can directly configure like it is, like a drag and drop. But if suppose any complex requirement came like based on many conditions and all, or some based on some integrations and all, you cannot actually configure from here. You cannot configure from here and people are not using App Studio. We will only use Dev Studio while working in any application. Any questions till now? App Studio. App Studio is for low-code app development. And you have a topic also in System Architect reports regarding App Studio. They have focused some topics based on App Studio. Like what is an App Studio? How to actually? What are the advantages of App Studio? The advantages is like the maintenance becomes easy and the development becomes easy. Like easy in the sense if something you want, you have to just drag and drop. They are saying that if you go to the data C, whenever we are further discussing, you will be able to understand what are the data types, data pages, and all here they have mentioned. They will be discussing all these things. Then we'll come here and explore. But do you understand the difference between App Studio and Dev Studio? Dev Studio is for complex requirements. Let me switch to Dev Studio. This is how Dev Studio looks like. You are able to see it. Now this one is called left pane. This is on the left side of the screen. You are on left pane. This is called left pane. Let me write it. Left pane. PNE pane. This is left pane. This top one is a header. The top one is called header. The bottom one is a footer. This middle one is a work area. This middle you have this screen is there. In this middle one is a work area. The portal you can identify like this left pane, header, footer and middle. Like middle one is a work area. Let me left pane, header, footer for a career. Now in a left pane, you have few options right here. Case types, data types, app records and fabrics. Currently you are in Resyncs because from last 1 week I haven't opened this cloud instance. It got resetted like reset in the sense it will become to the fresh like the new one. There are no recent items here. If you click on case types, see case types are nothing but application life cycles. PEGA for students, it has in a cloud version, it has given a sample application called GoGo Road. You can see on the top right here in the header that GoGo Road. GoGo Road is a vehicle assistance application. Like, if suppose your vehicle got any flat tire or some problem in engine, you will actually call for roadside assistance. That assistance application they have configured for the student purpose, like to actually go through the flows to understand how they have configured. They have given that small POC application. If you click on case types, you will be having case types. Case types is nothing but some kind of life cycles. For GoGo Road, the case type is assistance request. If you click on assistance request, you will open this assistance request case lifecycle. Click on this assistance request. See, this is a work area. Instead of work area, you are opening the application's lifecycle. This is an application's lifecycle. Let me drag it to the right. This is an application lifecycle. See, this is the PEGA. Actually configured this one for student purpose. They can actually go through the how they have configured and see what actually they are happening. First, they are creating a case like a case in a sense. See, every case, like every order you purchase from Amazon, you will get order ID. That order, it is a unique number. Only one order contains a unique number. It cannot be duplicated. Similarly, in PEGA, those that is called case IDs. Suppose if you have raised any complaint. That is a complaint ID generally. But in a PEGA terminology, those are all case ID. This is a unique value. This is a unique identifier. And actually, whenever you actually claim, like whenever you actually submit a claim for any insurance company, that claim ID or something is called a case ID in PEGA. Case ID is nothing but a unique identifier. Here they are creating one case like starting of the thing. They are creating a case like a case or a request of it. After they are identifying issue means what actually happened, like whether the flat tire or engine broke down or what actually any accident or what happened. They're identifying an issue after identifying an issue. They are asking customer information, like you have to be pre-registered for these things. For roadside assistance, you need to pay some amount of monthly that they will assist you. They're asking to enter customer information, might be the customer ID or customer name or customer phone number. Based on how actually they have designed. They are asking to enter customer identification, like the customer information. After entering the customer information, it is asking to identify the location and what location you are. You are at currently are the vehicle at. They're asking to identify the location of that. What they're telling? They're telling to tell the vehicle model, vehicle name, vehicle make and all. Vehicle number to identify or actually to send some kind of toolkits. And they will ask what is the vehicle type or not. After this information is given, they're validating the request, validating in a sense whether the customer is already there or not, or actually whether they can identify the issue that the user has selected, whether they can proceed or not. They're validating a request if suppose it is approved. This is the shape is called decision. This is a decision. If this request was approved, then it will go to the next stage. Whether if it was rejected. If it was rejected, then it will go to some kind of alternative path or something. See below, you have this approval rejection rate. You understand, here they have added rate. some kind of approval rejection. This is all the flow that was designed by PEGA. They have given us this flow to explore. We can also create our own things. After this, theoretical sessions are done. We'll be implementing a practical session. Then we'll be clearly understanding how to configure these things. Till now it's fine. The application lifecycle, you have viewed how it looks like. Yes, Sriram. Sriram, like this create validation. These all are stages and the identify issues. All these are the steps. All these are the steps. These things, the below one is the validation is a stage. Inside the stage you have steps. Any questions till now? How to bring this in the work area? Sriram, like we need to drag and drop from somewhere, like create. These configurations you're talking about. We'll discuss how to configure the life cycle. I'll tell you in a session when we start implementations. Then we'll discuss how to configure. Actually, it's very simple. Let me reload once this was meant to the tool left. Now if you want to add any new case type, new application case type, then you click on a case type, you will be having add a case type here. If you click on add a case type, it will ask for a name and few things. It will ask class and all name. It will ask as a developer every time you have to see an advanced settings. We need to go and look at the advanced settings whether it is correct or not. We need to add some more name here and we submit it here. It will try to create a new case type. In that case type, you can configure these things. You can configure your life cycle. And today we'll be having a high-level overview on a debugging tools. Debugging tools. We have 3 debugging tools in PEGA. Like if suppose any issue came in production or any issue came in your higher environment. You are all aware, right? What is a higher environment? What is the production? Generally, we have 4 types of environment. This is a very general. Like it will differ from application to application. Like based on client to client, it will differ actually. First environment is sandbox, sandbox, sandbox. After that, you will be having development environment. After that, you will be having a SAD environment, that you will be having UAT environment. After that, you will be having production. Production. What is a production? Production is where our live users will work on whatever the applications we are using now. Those are all production applications. Like whatever the Amazon website we are using, that is a production website. Like production in the sense where real-time users will work on. Like if suppose it is a customer representative application who will work, the customer care people will work. That where the real-time users are working on, that is a production. If some issue came up in production, we need to look into that. Like on a priority basis, we need to look into that. If suppose it's a blocker in the sense, if suppose when you create a case, what is happening? Some kind of errors coming in production, then that is a very severity issue because users are unable to proceed with the case creation. Production is the very priority environment where the business users, the live users will be working on. Production environment. Now sandbox. Sandbox is like the high-level architects and all will be there before creating any application. They will want to test like there will be class structures and all. I will tell you what is a class structure and all. Don't confuse. But sandbox is like before actually giving the application to the developers. Like we are all developers, or a kind of POFI. A kind of PO they will do in sandbox. Like we are all developers. Some kind of architects and lead system architects. They will do some kind of POC. Like POC in the sense a small kind of application they will build for the same client. They will build a small kind of application to check whether this is working fine or not. Sandbox is like an environment where we will never log in and all. And for a few clients, sandbox will not be there, like they will directly implement in dev only. This is very generic, this very high level, I'm telling you. But sandbox is something like a sample application. This is a dev. This dev is like where we will develop our code. All the developers, all the people will be working on dev. This is a dev. And what is a side? You see, whenever some kind of development is completed in dev, we will migrate. Whatever the code that is required, we will migrate the code to SID. What is a sec? A SID is like a testing environment. A testing environment. It's a testing environment where actually a QA team will work on. QA is nothing but quality assurance team. A QA is nothing but quality assurance or testing team. Testing team will work on a side. What actually they will do? They will do some kind of testing. Like they will do a functionality testing in CD. Functionality testing in the sense whether what the developer has configured, whether it is working fine as per the business requirement or not. They will test the functionality. If suppose something went wrong, like there is some mismatch in the requirement, it is not working correctly. Then what they will do? They will raise a defect. They will raise a defect and they will assign it to the dev team. And after the testing is completed, after the defect fixes are also done, then the entire code will be moved to UAT. The entire code, the working code will be moved to UAT. In UAT, what generally people will do is like they'll do performance testing, like performance testing in the sense. What if they will run some scripts and all the performance testers will be there? They will do the performance testing. Like if suppose what happens, some more people will be logging into the application. They will do some performance thing. How actually the application is behaving. What's the load and all? Business testing. Something you are saying? We are load testing and the business testing. Business testing and load. And also business people also will do the testing in UAT, and generally the demos also will be given to the business in UAT. Like if suppose business wants to see that functionality, they will give that demo in UAT. Mostly in UAT the code will be in working condition. After those performance, working conditions, demos, everything is done. They will deploy the code to production. They will deploy the code to production. Understood. What is, and you know right. What is the production? Production is like to where the business users will work on. Like the business users or customers, whoever they are based on, application they will work on. Now let's see the debugging tools. We have 3 debugging tools in PEGA. 3 debugging tools. First one is Clipboard. Clipboard. Our next one is Live UI. Our next one is Tracer. Tracer. We have 3 debugging tools. These 3 are debugging tools in PEGA. Let me write it down. We have three debugging tools in PEGA. First one is Clipboard, second one is Live UI, and third one is Tracer. First, let's concentrate on Clipboard and then Tracer and then Live UI. Or else let's make it like this one: Clipboard, Tracer and Live UI. Clipboard, Tracer and Live UI. But today I will show you how actually Clipboard looks like. But we'll start basic some Clipboard today. And we have to open a Clipboard. From where we have to open a Clipboard in? It is a Dev Studio, right? In Dev Studio, the Clipboard will be present on your footer. This pad icon is there. This icon. One second. You are able to see it. The third icon, this one. This is a Clipboard. In few applications, you will be having a name also like Clipboard. There will be a text in. We can manage that thing whether to show an icon or a text. Here we have an icon. If you click on a Clipboard, this Clipboard will open up. Clipboard is a debugging tool from where you have to open a Clipboard. Clipboard you can open from a footer. Here you have a footer. You can open from the footer. If you click on a Clipboard, this is how Clipboard looks like. This is how Clipboard looks like. This is a Clipboard. And on the top of the Clipboard, you have a thread. You have a thread. I'll tell you what is a thread and all. But you can see right how Clipboard looks like. Now let me explain to you what is a Clipboard. What is a Clipboard? Clipboard. See, whenever you are entering any information. Here in the application lifecycle, you are entering the information. The customer information, identify the location, identify the vehicle. These things are related to one customer's claim. Suppose one customer has raised a request. Let's suppose one customer has raised one request for roadside assistance. We'll create one case. Let's think of the case ID, case I. C1 in the sense first. It is a first claim. First claim. Now that particular user will be entering the data in these screens. These are all called screens. These steps will be a screen. Let me launch the portal. Once user portal launch. I'm launching a portal. You can click on a launch portal and you will be having an options like how you can launch the portal or use a portal auditor. Now, if you click on this again, you will have a left pane here. If you click on create, it will ask which request you need to create. Assistance request or new vendor. If you click on assistance request, it will create that particular claim. I have to click on assistance request. Assistance request. Let's take the BRC. New assistance request. We are at identify issue. What is the identify issue? Identify issue is the first step. Inside create, you have identify issue. After identify issue, you have another three more you have. See, you have all these three here. You are able to see right how we are creating a claim. Now identify issue. It is asking how we can help you today. It has a flat tire, vehicle doesn't start, or some problems they have given. This is a POSI application. It's a sample application. You will be having only a few items like few questions or something. Don't assume that in real time also you can only configure 4 like that. This is a sample. They have given a four conditions like 4 questions they are asking. Now as a customer, you are a customer. Let's see the application in a customer perspective. You have logged into this application. This is a GoGo Road application. You have logged in your mobile or some laptop or wherever you want. You have logged in. Now you are raising a question like your vehicle is having some problem. You are actually requesting the support like the vehicle support. It is asking you what is the problem if I select this one. If I click on continue, it is asking for customer information again. You can select your account ID, like suppose my name is Thomas. Here they have given through names, through emails. If I select Thomas, everything is coming in full name, whether the person was enrolled or not. What's the coverage level standard for Thomas is a standard. Might be based on the business requirements, again based on a coverage level. The assistance might change or some payment information might change. Here he is a standard level customer. If I select some other people, he is also standard. Might be any other premium. See, he is a gold coverage. He is a gold coverage customer. These are all things are pre-configured in PEGA. We are able to see on screen. Whatever the information we are selecting here on screen, that information must be stored somewhere, right? For a claim C1, that information must be stored somewhere. How the PEGA will store is like PEGA first will store on a clipboard. The data which you are giving on user interface. UI is a user interface, will be first stored on a clipboard. After that, it will be storing on a database. This is how it will behave. Like whatever the information you are giving on user interface. This is a user interface. Whatever the data you are giving on user interface. Suppose I was giving street. Street is something, some name I was giving. City I was giving. State I was clicking on. Continue. Then how it will behave is like first, this data will be stored on a clipboard. Don't worry, I'll show you how to look the data efficiently. But the process, what it will follow is like the data which you are giving on user interface will be stored on a clipboard. And from clipboard, it will be stored in the database. If suppose the data is missing on a clipboard, then the data will not store on a database. If suppose any issue came first, you need to look into the clipboard whether the data is present or not. Then you need to look. If suppose the data is there in clipboard, then you need to look into how actually the data is stored in the database. Now, if suppose you are fetching any information, now you are here. What you are doing? You are actually entering the information You are giving input. Now, if you want to fetch any information, like if suppose there is a manager wants to see you the details of claim C1. Like what actually happened for a claim C1? He wants to see what we are discussing. We are discussing regarding clipboard, how actually the data will be stored in a PEGA. Whatever the data you are giving on user interface, that data will be first stored on a clipboard. And from clipboard, the data will be stored into a database. Now I am telling how the data will store. Now how to fetch the data. Fetching this as a manager. You want to see a claim details, or as a manager, you need to see the details of the claims that were created for this week. Some kind of weekly report or some kind of details like that you need to see, because we need to analyze the data, how actually we are performing. For analyzing the data also, first from database data will be present on database. From database will be fetching the data to clipboard. Fetching the data to clipboard, and from clipboard will be showing on user interface. From clipboard you will be showing the data into user interface. Now let's actually define a clipboard. Now we'll define a clipboard. What is a clipboard? We'll define clipboard access and interface between your screen and a database. Is that correct? Clipboard access and interface. It will be present in between your UI user interface and your database. Over here also see it is present in between UI and database. Let me write it down: clipboard access and interface between UI and DB. DB is nothing but database. This actually suits right. Clipboard access and interface between UI and DB, and on clipboard you will get a permanent data and a temporary data. You suppose I have entered some data here. This is present on clipboard. Now this is not stored into database. If I click on continue, it will actually persisted into the database. Now this is a temporary data. This data which is present on clipboard. This is like a temporary data. Now this time on clipboard, you can see both temporary data. You can see a permanent data also. Like clipboard is like a memory holder. In between your database and your application, it will connect your database and your application. You suppose a manager is in production. In production, a business is looking into our weekly claims, like how many games are actually created in this week. They are looking into the claim ID. Claim ID is nothing but a case ID like C1, C2, C3. And they are looking for an amount, like if let's think it is an insurance application. They are looking for number of claims and amount for each claim. If suppose you are getting an amount to column as empty, whenever they are fetching that report from the database, that amount you are not getting, then actually that is an issue, right? The data is not storing in a database. Correct. Then how to debug? First, we have to see in a clipboard whether for all the cases, whether the data is present on the clipboard or not. If the data is not also present on a clipboard, then we have to use these other tools like tracer and live UI. If suppose a data is present on a clipboard but it is not persisting into database, then we need to look into why the data is not actually storing into a database. How to fetch data from the clipboard or from database to clipboard? See, we have other rules. In PEGA, everything is called a rule. Rules in the sense I will tell you in PEGA, we have a few rules called data transform and activities. We will be discussing in further sessions. Data transform and activities are two rules. Rule. In the sense it is a kind of, what can I say, like I'll show you. Activities are used for generally. Activities are used for database manipulations. Manipulations in the sense you can either create a record, you can delete a record, you can modify a record. Whatever you can do it through activities, and also you can fetch the record. In activities, I'll tell you how to actually look into that. How to fetch the data, I'll tell you. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.